The morning was normal until I saw their car parked sideways near the employee entrance. My stomach dropped before I even reached them. Mom stepped out like she owned the place, and my sister leaned on the hood like she was waiting for a runway cue. I tightened my grip on my laptop bag and kept walking. Mom blocked my path. "So, this is where you pretend you matter?" Her tone was flat, mocking, sharp. My sister smirked like she was already rehearsing a victory post. Mark, my boss, walked out behind me with his coffee, nodding politely. Mom turned toward him like she had been waiting for an audience. "She's human garbage," she said, loud enough to echo. "She stole a job meant for her sister. This company doesn't understand value." Before I could breathe, before Mark could even process it, she spit directly in my face. Warm, wet, sharp humiliation. I froze. People stared. Mark's face went pale, like he wasn't sure if he should intervene or call security. Mom leaned closer. "Your sister deserves this job, not you. You'll never rise. You don't have the face. You don't have the talent. You don't have the bloodline for success." My throat tightened so hard I couldn't swallow. My sister whispered, "Don't embarrass yourself. Just quit." I didn't speak. I walked past both of them with my heart burning, my hands shaking, and my boss chasing behind me, asking if I needed HR. That was the exact moment I decided. This would not end the way they expected. I sat in the small HR office 20 minutes later with a cold paper towel pressed against my cheek. The spit was gone, but the feeling wasn't. Mark kept his distance, but he stayed standing near the corner of the room like he didn't trust himself to walk out and pretend this didn't happen. HR kept asking me if I wanted a break before answering. I didn't. I needed every word documented exactly while it was still burning. I gave the statement calmly, line by line, what she said, where she stood, how it escalated, the way my sister smirked, the exact tone when Mom said garbage. HR didn't need dramatics. They needed accuracy. I had accuracy. After the meeting, I sat at my desk and stared at the screen while my hands hovered above the keyboard. My body still felt shaky, like it hadn't caught up to my mind yet. A coworker walked by and slid a small chocolate bar on my desk without saying anything. Normal kindness felt foreign after what happened outside. By lunch, my mother texted me paragraphs saying I overreacted, saying if I reported her, it would make me look pathetic, saying that if this company had any sense of loyalty, they would hire my sister because she was the one with real future value. Every line felt like the language of someone who genuinely believed I was disposable. My sister texted too. "HR can't help you. They know who the real star is." That one made me stop reading, because something inside me changed that minute. Not sadness, not hurt, direction. For so long, revenge for me used to mean turning away silently and building life somewhere they couldn't access. But this time was different. This wasn't private abuse inside a house. This was public, professional humiliation in front of my employer. They entered my workplace physically. They crossed boundaries legally. This time, I wasn't just surviving them. This time, I had systems that could protect me, document me, back me. This wasn't emotional revenge. This was structured consequences. After work, I went straight to a legal clinic office in the same plaza. I sat down with an advisor and explained the entire incident word for word. They told me it was workplace harassment by an external party and that I had every right to file both a restraining order and a civil claim for public defamation, especially because it happened in front of an employer. I didn't flinch. I didn't hesitate. I filled every form. When I got home that night, I made dinner slowly for Mason. I cut strawberries. I boiled pasta. I tried to breathe like a person who wasn't still vibrating with someone else's cruelty. Mason climbed into my lap quietly, looked at my face, and said, "Mama, someone hurt you today?" I couldn't even answer. He just put his small hand over my cheek and rested his forehead against mine. That was the exact moment I realized how much I had allowed myself to normalize their attacks as something survivable. I wasn't surviving, I was absorbing, and that ended today. 2 mornings later, HR called again. They told me they were opening an internal protection protocol. they said management backed me. They said the CEO himself read the incident report and told legal to prioritize safeguarding our employee immediately. My boss came into my office afterward, closed the door softly, and said something I never heard an adult say to me in relation to my family. "We believe you. You don't deserve this." It broke something open in me that I didn't even know was sealed shut. For the first time in my life, someone with power stood next to me and not against me. Later that afternoon, my parents showed up on video call trying to gaslight the situation again, saying I embarrassed them, saying I ruined their image, saying I should drop everything before it backfired. I looked at them on that screen and realized that this family never understood accountability because they never believed consequences could stick to them. They always thought the world was flexible to their demands, but I wasn't flexible anymore. I blocked them mid-sentence. Then I walked back to my desk and typed the email to HR confirming the final stage: formal restraining action and legal follow-through. I wasn't scared. I wasn't shaking. This wasn't trauma anymore. This was strategy. I didn't want them to be sorry. I wanted them to be held responsible in a way they couldn't rewrite. 3 weeks later, the restraining order was granted. Not temporary, permanent. Full workplace perimeter included, parking lot included, lobby included, future company events included. If they stepped foot onto company property again, police involvement would activate automatically. That alone already cracked their control, because the one place they used to invade freely was now a locked zone they could never enter again. But that wasn't the revenge. The real revenge came when my sister tried to apply to the same company behind my back. Yes, she tried. She submitted her portfolio, resume, and application for the junior creative assistant role opening. She thought her last name would carry weight. She thought she could slide into a role and live off the same corporate space where I had finally built safety and credibility. She even tried to DM my boss privately, acting sweet. He forwarded the message directly to me with one simple line: "Do you want me to reject her formally or have HR do it?" That was the moment I realized this time. I held equal social weight, something my parents spent decades convincing me I could never have. I responded, "HR, full compliance, no exceptions." They did exactly that. Straight rejection. Documented, professional, no emotional wording. Just the same cold procedural sentence the world used to deny me rights my entire life. My sister lost it. She sent one text: "You did this. You actually think you get to block me?" I typed back, "You blocked me from life my entire childhood. Now I'm blocking you from the one place you tried to feed off of. Fair exchange." I didn't yell. I didn't insult. I didn't traumatize. I delivered consequence. My parents tried the guilt route next, calling from hidden numbers. I answered once. My mother said, immediately furious, "You destroyed your sister's future career over one incident. One. You think you're powerful now?" I didn't defend myself. I didn't argue. I didn't explain scars. I said one sentence, calm and factual. "You spit in my face in front of my employer. I simply built a world where you will never be in a position to do that again." She tried to scream. I hung up, and I blocked every number again, permanently this time. After the restraining order finalized, corporate security printed a copy and placed it in the main office binder. My name wasn't a liability anymore. I was the one protected. They were the danger legally recognized. I kept working. I kept moving up. 6 months later, promotion again. Project lead. I brought Mason with me on Bring Your Kid Day, and everyone treated him gently and with respect. He looked at the office like it was a safe world, and that alone was worth everything. I built a life where no one could weaponize my shame again. My revenge wasn't a punch thrown at them. My revenge wasn't begging to be heard. My revenge wasn't silence. My revenge was creating an environment where they were permanently locked out, and I was permanently protected within. That was the difference. They taught me humiliation had no boundaries. I taught them consequences do. And I closed the door on them not emotionally, but legally, professionally, and permanently. ensuring they would never again have access to destroy where I earn, where I work, where I build my future, and where my son will someday see me respected instead of spit on. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.